Hey guys, it's Lisa. Welcome to Banning, Panning and Beyond and the second installment of my skincare routine. So today I'm going to discuss my nighttime routine. So as I said in the first video, I am nearly 48. I am on an antibiotic, which helps dry my skin up because I am quite oily and still acne prone even at my age. So the products that I use, obviously I pick to try and suit my skin tone. So it's going skin type. So that is obviously what works for me, or hopefully works for me. Could I still improve my skincare routine? Most definitely. So that's where you guys come in. I'm definitely keen for the feedback. So if you've got anything to say, any hints or tips or whatever, please feel free to share them, because it's not just me that's going to benefit from them. It could be any other of my subscribers that are scrolling through the comments as well. So as I do have a few extra steps in my night time compared to my daytime, and I have to definitely let you know, I am quite slack with my nighttime routine in regards to being consistent. And I think that consistency is definitely a key factor with having healthy skin. And so I'm trying to make more of an effort. I find that, like, I have no problem washing my face every day because I'm exercising over morning, and then I will jump in the shower. I'll wash my face in the shower. So that sort of just starts the ball rolling. Whereas at nighttime, if I have not worn makeup that day, I tend to often skip cleaning my face and doing all my skincare, which I shouldn't, because we're still getting pollutants and sweating throughout the day and whatnot. So I'm also trying to get back in the habit of using sunscreen every day. So even if I don't put makeup on, I've still got sunscreen on my face. So I really should be still doing that nighttime routine. So I'm definitely on a skincare journey. I'm quite new at it. This is the first year in all my years that I have really paid attention to my skincare. It's becoming more and more important, I think, as I'm getting older. So I do wish that I had made more of an effort years ago to do this, but I have the time now to learn, because I'm only working part-time from home, so I have a lot more downtime than I used to. So so let's just get into the routine and see where it takes us. So my very first step is an oil cleanse. I tend to not use balms anymore, although, spoiler, I have ordered one. It's not the one that I had my eye on, but I'll talk about that more when it arrives and I do it as an entry. So for now, all you need to know is that I do an oil cleanse first up. Now that's really good for getting rid of any sunscreen or breaking down makeup. And yes, Hannah Louise Poston put me onto this one. I had tried some more expensive brands, and I honestly couldn't see what the whole fuss was with them. And then I decided to go for this one, and I'm never going back to the more expensive ones. This works really, really well. It's very, very affordable. So, and it even goes on special. So I can get this from my local pharmacy or one of the larger sort of department store. It's not even a department store. It's like a Target, but it's Big W. I don't know who has Big W in their countries, so I may mention a product. I may mention a store, a bit like Mecca. Not everybody knows what Mecca is, and it is a makeup retailer in Australia. So anyway, so getting back into it, I have the oil cleanse as my first step for breaking down the sunscreen and the makeup. And then I go in with my cleanser, which I've already shown you in the AM routine. Now, often what happens if I've worn makeup is, even though the cleansers have sort of broken everything down, I still often end up with eye makeup on. And I often, if I find that I've still got eye makeup on, or I feel like, especially under here where you tend to sort of bring your foundation and bronzer down, I will use my micellar water on one of those cotton washable cotton pads and make sure I get the last of the traces of the makeup. Now, a lot of people would use a toner for that purpose as the final step in their routine, as far as cleansing is concerned. I found that the cotton pads absorbed way too much product, and there was a lady on Instagram that mentioned that she tended to just squirt her toner in her hand and then splash it on, and I thought that was perfect for what I use my toner for, because the whole point of my toner is mainly to rebalance my skin after I've cleansed it. So that's in fact what I do. So once I've taken all of that off, all my makeup off, and that, I will go in with my retinol serum for my eyes. So this is the one I'm using at the moment, and so I'll pop that on and let that sort of absorb. I will go in with generally that's when I'll go in with my toner, and all depending on how quickly it absorbs. At some point I will put my eye cream on, and because I'm using the vitamin C one during the day, and vitamin C and retinol do not go well together, I've just got this Bye Bye under eye one that I use at night time at the moment, and then I go into the more sort of moisturizing treatment steps of my routine, and I will use the essence. And I do find that this, like I mentioned before, this essence, I don't know whether it's because it's quite a viscous product, that when I put my vitamin C serum on during the day, that it will pill if I don't let this fully absorb. So I may look to getting something else, because who has an hour to do their skincare in the morning? So did I say skincare? Anyway, alright, so we've gone through pretty similar steps to the morning. So after I do my essence to help my serums absorb, that's when I do go in with my serums, and at night time I use a retinol. So I am using The Ordinary, and I don't know that this is a strong one, and I've never had any issues with it drying my skin out. That's what they say often happens when you first start with retinols, and so I guess maybe my skin just isn't that sensitive. The only time I've had a problem with retinol is around my eye area. If you know, when you're first using it and your skin's adjusting, often it will actually make the area worse, which could encourage you to stop using it. So it's really important that you build up to using it every day. You might sort of only do it once every 3 or 4 days to begin with, and as your skin gets used to it, you can eventually build up to using it every day. So I'm pretty much there. Well, I think it was when I actually started this tube, I'd used the old one up, and I think it was quite old, and when I opened this one up, I had that reaction. So I'm guessing the older tube lost its potency, because I did have a problem with all of a sudden the lines on my eyes were like, it's like all the hydration had gotten sucked out of the area, and my lines were a hell of a lot worse than what they normally were. But eventually I just sort of I backed off a bit and built back up to it again. So I'm mindful of that now. By the time I finish this tube, that may happen again, and I'll know sort of what to do. But yeah, I definitely do not particularly like this one. I was prescribed the the retinol, like the really strong medical one. I haven't filled it yet. I think I've got till November to fill that script before it expires. So I may, in fact, do that. And yeah, I'll see how I go. But I have got a replacement for that. That one is almost done. But if anybody has an affordable retinol that they can recommend, I'd definitely be interested in that one. So while I'm letting my retinol soak in, I will generally, if I remember, use these serums for my lash and brow. And I'm really glad, like I got these when I bought them, they were 50% off, so basically I got 2 for the price of 1. So I didn't really like the idea of what I put on my brow I used on my lashes. So yeah, so I ended up getting the 2, and I haven't noticed a difference, and that could just be because these ones are cheap ones, and they got really good reviews online, but I honestly have not found that they have done much for me. So it could be also that I don't use them regularly enough, and I'm really glad that I didn't fork out a lot of money for them, because I've learned that they are something I regularly forget to use, and I would have wasted my money if I had got a really expensive one. So once these are gone, I highly doubt I will ever buy another growth serum for my brows and lashes again. But I'm trying to finish them up because I spent the money on them, and if anything, it's, like I said, it was a good learning process for me. So I don't regret it. So now after I've used my serum and on my retinol on my face, I will then go in again, if I remember, to use my oil on my neck and my chest. So once the retinol has dried, and one thing I'm not good at is being patient with letting time go by in between steps. So I have read that as long as you kind of let your serums soak in so that they feel dry to the touch, then it's okay. That you should try to leave roughly 5 minutes. But I read last night that, because I am still very interested in learning more and more about skincare, that you should be, anything prior to putting your retinol, you should be letting it soak in for at least 20 minutes before applying your retinol. And I just thought, seriously, I'm lucky to just do my nighttime skincare without it dragging on that long. So I don't do that. I go with, once it's dry to the touch, then it's time to put the next layer of skincare on. So once I get there, I then apply my moisturizer. Now, I've mentioned before that my skin being more oily, the heavier creams I used to have aren't so good for me, and I had bought this as an overnight mask thinking that it would go on top of my moisturizer, but now at night I stick just to this. It is a gel and it is very lightweight, and I don't wake up oily in the morning. So and then when I read up on it, it can be just used as a daytime moisturizer as well. So it's very versatile. It all depends on your skin type, and it is very affordable. I think I picked this up for 20 Australian dollars. It's the COSRX honey overnight mask, and I have been looking into another gel style one my daughter's using at the moment. It's I think the Origins, and it is a gel cream, but it just looks like a cream in the jar. It's 50 mils, which is, this tube here is 60, and I only use the tiniest bit, and it spreads out really nice on my face. But the price difference is incredible. I think it's nearly $50 for 50 mils for the Origins, and you got $20 for 60 mils. So as much as I do like my sort of bougie skincare, and it's really nice to have them, I can't sort of afford to have such expensive skincare, so I am definitely looking for cheaper alternatives. So again, guys, if you guys have got any suggestions, please leave them in the comments. But I'm kind of sold on a lot of the K-beauty brands. Not all of them are this cheap, by the way. I did look at Misha yesterday at one of the essences compared to the CosRX ones. Yeah, a fairly big jump in that. And what was the, I think it was, or is, I think, I'm going to have to check on that. I'm not sure whether or not Misha was the K-beauty brand, or whether or not that was what the K-beauty brand was a dupe of. But it was the SK2 or something like that. It was an essence, I'm pretty sure. So, and I have heard Hannah Louise Poston talking about it. So, yeah, it's definitely a challenge. And I think while we're sort of all looking for our holy grails, we can waste so much money. So I'm definitely trying to use up what I've got and really think about it and research before I start replacing any of these items. So other than probably the lash and brow serums and the extra sort of cleansing steps, very similar to my morning routine. The one thing that I mentioned in my morning routine, which I have recently incorporated, which I had sitting there and just never used because I didn't really know how to use it or where to use it. And I read somewhere that retinol went really, really well with the hyaluronic acid, and I thought, okay, I'm going to get it out and I'm going to start using it. And I mentioned the fact that I'm going to start trying to use it on my eyes. So I will definitely put the retinol eye serum on first, and then I will probably have to spritz. It always says to make sure you've got water, so I'll spritz or just slightly sort of press in just a little bit of water to dampen the area. Go in with the hyaluronic acid, and then I will layer the eye cream over the top of that. But I have been using this for a little bit now. I think since when I went away at the start of the month with my sister, I took it with me and wasn't real good at using it regularly, so I've been making more of an effort since I've gotten home. But I was actually thinking, you know, kind of like replacing, like, or performing the same sort of thing as an essence, where you put it on before your serum to help it to really absorb in. But in the case of the hyaluronic acid, you're supposed to put your retinol on first, it as a treatment essence, and then this goes on afterwards as a more of a moisturizing or hydrating essence. Then you go on with your moisturizer. So that was a mistake that I was making. So as of tonight, I'll be trying it the new way. And on that note, another thing that I learned, because obviously if you're the sort of person who has drier skin and you want to use an oil on your face, generally the rule of thumb is when you go from your thinnest to your thickest or sort of most creamiest products, is that your oil will go on last. And I think a lot of the people then, if they are so inclined, they would put a heavy night cream on the top of the oil, but your general moisturizer would go first, then your oil. So I have some minis of the Luna oil and the Good Genes, and I have sort of been mixing up my nighttime routine. So I'm just showing you what I was using prior to sort of testing out and experimenting and some of the other products that I've got in my stash. So the same with that. Good Genes is a lactic acid, and I thought that, and the girl that I bought it from Mecca actually wrote all the steps down, and she had said that you do your Good Genes first, and then you put your Luna oil on top. So when I actually read the box and then went online to do even like double check it, you're actually supposed to this is an exception to the rule where you would actually put the Lunar Oil on first, then you put your Good Genes on over the top. I don't know why, but that's just the way it says to do it. So I'm guessing there's a good reason. If anybody knows, let me know. But yeah, it's just funny how you definitely, even though you can sort of have a general rule of thumb with skincare, there's always going to be different versions out there. I guess it depends on the person and their routine, their skin type, and definitely particular products that you should always go by the instructions on their box, because like in this case with the Lunar Oil and the Good Genes, it was like a reverse order. So anyway, so that is it for my nighttime routine. I will let you know again, oil cleanse, normal cleanse. If necessary, I will go in with the micellar water to get rid of the absolute last of any sort of dirt, makeup, sunscreen. I will put my retinol eye serum on, go in with my toner, and that finishes the cleansing part of it. I will then go in with my eye cream. Sometimes the order slightly varies, and then I will go in with the first step, which is my essence for the hydrating treatment stage. After I use my essence, I will go in with my serums, whichever order, if I use more than one. And after that, I will go in with my face oil for my neck and my chest. Hopefully, if I remember, I use my lash and brow serum, but once they're gone, they're gone. And then I will go in with my night mask, which is really just my moisturizer. So if I used another moisturizer, I wouldn't go in with anything else on top of that. So that's it, guys. Not probably as simple as what some people do, and in all honesty, I used to be a wash my face and moisturize. That was it. That was me for pretty much up until maybe 2 years ago, and then I started incorporating eye cream in. I knew nothing about serums. I did not double cleanse. I didn't use a toner. I didn't use an essence. So yes, I have made my life a little bit more complicated, and it's not particularly that fast to get ready in the morning because of this. And you know, I do try to put something on and then go do something, and then I'll come back, but then I have to wash my hands, do the next step in my skincare. But some days I just stay in the bathroom and I just go through it all, and I'll watch a bit of YouTube while I'm doing it, or scroll through Instagram, or do whatever. So anyway, so that's it. I've done my skincare finally, and I'm definitely looking forward to feedback from you guys. So please sound off in the comments, and I'll see you all again soon. Bye.